Amen will score from the second tier, being led to the post by outrider Kathy Hawk. Number 1 is Power Pinch, owned in partnership by Rosemary Enders and Bob Harper, both of the Buckeye State, trained and driven by Bob Harper. Well, the 2 is Jazz Hop, owned by the Live Your Dream Stables at Columbus, Ohio, trained by John Robinson, Kyle Leader. The 3 is Casarena, owned by Karen Seifert of Mount Sterling, Ohio, trained by John Tatum with Ace Nicehonger. The 4 is Noble Julie, owned and trained by George Anthrop of Marshall, Michigan. The K-Man, Kane Kaufman. The 5 is Sarah Shelley's Jazz, owned by the Docks Kids Stable at Xenia, Ohio, trained and driven by Mike McClelland. The 6, Martinsville Girl, owned by Timothy Hawkins of Middletown, Ohio, trained by Bob Longo with Adam Rucker. The 7 is Here Puppy, owned by Mike Conklin of Ashley, Ohio, and Harold Botter of Delaware, Ohio, trained by Mike Conklin, Jeff Fount. Of the 8, Devon's Money, owned by Gus Hall of Lebanon, Ohio, trained by Joseph Hall with J.D. Perrin. For the outside of the 9, Love Thy Neighbor, owned and trained by Glenn Collins of Hamilton, Ohio, with Dave Setzer. And for the second tier, number 10, Forever Never Amen, owned by Lois Stovall of Lebanon, Ohio, trained by Doug Stovall, Jim Daly, Ian Hersalke. That's the field for the first train. Field in motion. They're all fan pacing and driving away from the outside. There goes Martinsville Girl getting the first call here. Middle of the track, there's the 3, Casarena. From the rail, Power Pinch joins the fray there. And on the outside, racing in fourth, Noble Julie. Sliding through to be 4 now for the second tier, Forever Never Amen. 5th and caught to the outside. That is Noble Julie, who's angled to the pylons there. 6th on the inside, Here Puppy, a gap at 2 and 7th. That is Jazz Hop, followed in 8th by Devon's Money. And the 2 trailers here are Love Thy Neighbor and Sarah Shelley's Jazz. The opening quarter came and went in 28 seconds flat, and on by the stands for the first time and heading on down to the half, and Martinsville Girl and Adam Rucker on the point here. Long mile the outside into, that is Casarena. Inside in 3rd, Power Pinch. 4th on the inside, Forever Never Amen. Picking up the cover, 2nd over the outside in 5th. That is Noble Julie. 3rd over the outside in 6th, Here Puppy, as they step around the clubhouse turn in front of the paddock and on over to the half. And along the inside, racing in 7th there. That's Devon's Money. Outside racing in 8th as they reach the half in 58 and 4 off the initial quarter at 28 seconds flat. Off the turn and driving down the backside. Fillies and mares' heads are pointed towards 3/4, being led up top by Martinsville Girl. Into the inside now, vacating the garden spot there. That is Power Pinch, who's drawing right alongside of the leader here. Up on the outside in 3rd, that is Noble Julie. 4th on the inside, Forever Never Amen. 5th to the outside there, Here Puppy. Penned at the pylons in 6th. That is Devon's Money as they raced by 3/4 and 1:27 and 4/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home, and on top of the field, Power Pinch, our new leader here, who opens up by 2. Martinsville Girl could not go with her from 2nd to the outside in 3rd. That's Noble Julie to the top of Heartbreak Lane. Less than an 1/8 of a mile to pace, and they're on their way home. Driving through Power Alley, and on top of the field, Power Pinch with the lead here. Inside in 2, Martinsville Girl, Noble Julie, and Devon's Money is rushing on late, but this is clearly Power Pinch. Finishing 2nd, the 4, Noble Julie. 3rd was the 8, Devon's Money. Down the mile, 1:57 and 1/5, Power Pinch. Trackside of the winner's circle, the unofficial winner of the first race, Fillies and Mares, timed at 1:57 and 1/5. Claiming pace here from off the rail, the 1, Power Pinch. Picking up the 4th win in 2004. It's a 6-year-old bay mare by Power Book. Kind of a Raven Hanover mare, Just a Pinch. Owned in partnership by Rosemary Enders and Bob Harper, both of the Buckeye State. Nicely trained and driven to victory by Bob Harper. The 1, Power Pinch, scores here in 1:57 and 1 and returns $14.20, $5.60, $3.60. 2nd, the 4, Noble Julie, returning $5.60, $3. 3rd of the 8, Devon's Money, $4 even. The 1-4 Exacta is worth $54.80, while the 1-4-8 Try is worth $577.60. Trotted 1 mile, a purse at $2,800. Second half of the early double, Exacta trifecta wagering, a field of 9. There are no changes. The 1 is Don't Inquire by Lisa Lowe, McConnellsville, Ohio, trained by Eric Webb with Bob Harper, the reinsman. Number 2 is Pure Cadillac, owned and trained by Deb Shrake of Loudonville, Ohio, Jeff Fount, the pilot. Number 3 is Hypo Sanford to Me by Debbie Rucker of Ohio and Pete Van Kuren at Glen Rock, New Jersey, trained by Timmy Rucker with Debbie Rucker. The 4 is Princess Perry by the Eden Ridge Farms of Charlottesville, Virginia, trained by James Perry with Bruce Sturgeon. Number 5 is Bright Connection, in partnership by Neil and Alvin Long of the Buckeye State, trained and driven by Jim Daly. The 6 is Lady Star, owned in partnership by Dwayne and Carol Sue Lowe of Malta, Ohio, trained by Dwayne Lowe with Sandy Beatty. The 7 is Sizzling Man by Brumwell of New Jersey, Ader Richards and Montgomery of the Buckeye State, trained and driven by Dan Ader. The 8, Super Bandit by Jerry Folk of Delaware, Ohio, and Connie Armstrong of Delaware, Ohio, trained by Jerry Folk with a K-Man, Kane Kaufman. And for the outside of the 9 is Autocrat, and with the Charter Oak Stable of Aiken, South Carolina, trained and driven by Jimmy Laurent and the Sulky. That's the field for the second race. Behind the gate, a field of 9 on gate, moving up and moving in. The gate swings into the back stretch, and there they go. Field in motion. Being sent on their way. They're all fan trotting it off stride with the 6 Lady Star driving out of the middle of the track. Hypo Sanford to Me is driving out for the lead. Also over the outside, a Bright Connection is marching on towards the top. Pure Cadillac for the inside joins the fray there, away in third now. Fourth, that is Princess Perry. Angle to the pylon, staying there in fifth. Don't Inquire. Sixth there and back down trotting. That is Lady Star. Seventh along the inside, Sizzling Man. Eighth and up on the outside of there, that is Autocrat, and ninth in trailing the field is Super Bandit. The opening quarter came and went in 28 seconds flat. On by the stands for the first time and by the fans, and heading on over to the half, and Bright Connection and Jim Daly on the point here. To the outside, Pure Cadillac, and Found is looking to brush this one towards the top here as they roll under the wire with less than 5/8 of a mile remaining. Stepping into the clubhouse, turn a new leader, Pure Cadillac. Up top here, and Found leading the way. To the inside, racing into Bright Connection. Third along the inside, Hypo Sanford to Me was shoveled back there. Fourth is Princess Perry. Outer flow begins to form here. First over the outside in fifth, Don't Inquire. They're halfway home, 58 and 2/5. Second over the outside, racing in sixth, that is Lady Star. Third over the outside in seventh, Sizzling Man. At the pylons, racing in eighth, that is Autocrat. And ninth in trailing the field, and swung up 3 wide for the back of the pack. Super Bandit is charging as they roll down the backside. Nearing the 3/4 mile mark of the race, and on top, Pure Cadillac with a lead here and a 3 wide move. Here comes Lady Star, and Lady Star is looking to lead her in the eye and trotting right on by here. They race by 3/4 and 129 flat. They'll drop the final turn and head for home, and Lady Star with a backside bull rush is clear to the frontier. Pure Cadillac is trying to go with her in second. Outside racing in third, that is Super Bandit as they turn to the top of Heartbreak Lane. Less than 1/8 of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come, and Lady Star with a lead here, and she's all over this field. She's opening up and drawing away within the final 16. Lady Star is back to winning ways, the first victory in 2004. Finishing second, the 2 Pure Cadillac. Up for third was the 4 Princess Perry. The time of the mile, 1:58 and 4/5, Lady Star. Here's the 6 Lady Star, a 6-year-old bay mare by High Noon Star out of an Arnie Almaher's mare, Citrus Lady, owned in partnership by Dwayne and Carol Sue Lowe of Malta, Ohio, trained by Dwayne Lowe, nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Sandy Beatty. The 6 Lady Star, home a winner in 1:58 and 4/5, returning 11:80, 5:40, 5:40. Second, the 2 Pure Cadillac, 3:60, 3:80. Third of the 4 Princess Perry, 3:40. The early daily double combination of 1 and 6 will get you $80.80. The 6-2 Exacta, $67.80. 6-2-4 Try, $282.80. Super MJ, owned and trained by Robert Wallace Stickley of Urbana, Ohio, Sandy Beatty, the reinsman. Number 2 is Captain Fantastic, owned by Stanley Swango III of Waynesville, Ohio, trained by Jim Artledge with Ace Nicehunger. Number 3 is String Towner, owned in partnership by Rhonda Stidham of Circleville, Ohio, and Linda May in Naples, Florida, trained and driven by Jeff Collins. The 4 is 2 on Sam, with the Spring Mill Venture in New Albany, Ohio, trained by Tom Brinkerhoff, Jeff Fount. The 5 is Go Bogart, owned by Mike Campbell of Plain City, Ohio, and Link of O'Fallon, Missouri, trained by Mike Campbell, Bob Harper. The 6 is Go Bobby G, owned by Richard Elwood of Lancaster, Ohio, trained by Rick Hartman with Dave Myers. Number 7 is a Midnight Mover by Neil and Alvin Long of Ohio, trained by Alvin Long, Jim Daly. Into the outside of the 8 is Samson, owned by James Woodward and Russell Herr of Groveport, Ohio, trained by Russell Herr with a K-Man, Kane Kaufman, and the Sulky. That's the field for the third. The back stretch, and they're getting set for a start. This race sponsored by Silken Properties. Field in motion. They're off and pacing in a very nice start here and flashing early speed from the outside of Midnight Mover. Gets the first call. Driving through from the inside, Captain Fantastic. Middle of the track, caught out 3 deep in third. That is 2 on Sam. 4th at the rail, that is Super MJ. Angle to the inside in 5th, String Towner. Gap of a length and a half there. Racing in 6th, Go Bogart. Followed by the 2 trailers here. In 7th, Go Bobby G. And 8th and trailing Samson and the K-Man can see them all as they step around the first turn and over to the initial quarter and driving up on the outside here through an opening quarter at 28 seconds flat. That is 2 on Sam and Fout to the point here. Into the inside, a Midnight Mover will yield for that garden spot. Racing in 2, nose to helmet there. Captain Fantastic is racing in 3rd for Ace Nisonger. 4th on the inside, Super MJ is now flushed that cover. 2nd over the outside in 4th. Staying in from 5th, that is String Towner. 3rd over on the outside, racing in 6th, Go Bogart. Followed in 7th and 4th over on the outside. That is Go Bobby G. And 8th and trailing Samson in a ground-saving journey there as they step in front of the paddock and reach the half. 58 4/5. Off the turn and driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards 3/4 and Captain Fantastic is trying to clear the leader. 2 on Sam as they spar down the backside. 2nd over the outside, racing in 3rd. That's Super MJ at the pylons, racing in 4th. A Midnight Mover outside, racing in 5th there. And 2nd over, that is Go Bogart. 6th on the inside, String Towner. 7th, that is Go Bobby G. And 8th in trailing Samson. And 2 on Sam has battled back here through 3/4 and 1:27 3/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home. And 2 on Sam with a lead here. And to the outside, Captain Fantastic is now starting to retreat. Inside, that's a Midnight Mover as they turn to the top of the stretch. Less than 1/8 of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come, and on top of the field, 2 on Sam with a lead by 2 1/4. And to the outside, a Midnight Mover is getting no closer. The battle's on here for 2nd and 3rd as they come to the wire. 2 on Sam, gate to wire. Very close there for 2nd to 7. A Midnight Mover just may have held on over the 8 Samson. The time of the mile was 1:57 and 1/5. 2 on Sam. Or 2 on Sam. A thorough black gelding by Nobleland Sam out of a March mare, March to Win, and with the Spring Mill Venture in New Albany, Ohio, trained by Mr. Tom Brinkerhoff. Nicely handled here this evening by the winning driver, Jeff Fout. The 4, 2 on Sam, home a winner in 1:57 and 1/5. 4-7-8-3 is now official. The 4, 2 on Sam, returning $620, $540, $360. 2nd, the 7, a Midnight Mover, returning $17, $680. 3rd of the 8, Samson, returning $380. 4-7 Exacta, returning $81.40. 4-7-8 Try is worth $1,304.60. $100 Exacta Trifecta early pick 3 wagering begins here. A field of 10. There are no changes. Of the 10, Striking Edith will score from the 2nd tier. Number 1 is Parson Brown, owned by Jerome Rainey of Portsmouth, Ohio, trained and driven by Sandy Beatty. Number 2 is Piano Man, owned by Joanne Perry of Hudson, Ohio, trained by James Perry with Bruce Sturgeon. The 3 is Levite, owned by the Shout Stable of Pompano Beach, Florida, trained and driven by Rick Shout. The 4 is Allie Jane, owned by Peggy Carter, Londonderry, Ohio, and Easter Day and Reed, they're the Buckeye State, trained and driven by Steve Carter. The 5 is Sunday's Angel, owned and trained by Myron Brown of Arcanum, Ohio, with Jeff Ace Nisonger. The 6 is Action Photos, owned by Melby Ober Sr. Cable, Ohio, trained by Ann Hildebrand with Dave Setzer. Number 7 is Vacation Creation, owned by Harry and Iris Horowitz of Brooklyn, New York, trained by Timmy Rucker with Debbie Rucker. The 8 is Victory's Child, owned by Alan Quinn of Dillon, Florida, and Frank Cannon of Longwood, Florida, trained by Danny Collins, Jeff Fount. For the outside of the 9, Idaho Acres Flight, owned by George Casale of Farmingdale, New Jersey, trained by Bernie Boland with Bob Harper. And for the second tier, the 10, Striking Edith, owned by Jason Ash of Macedonia, Ohio, trained by Virgil Morgan Jr., Jim Daly, and her sulky. That's the field. Stretch, and there they go. Field in motion. Break the 7, Vacation Creation before the start. They're all fan trotting and firing away from the middle of the track. There goes Allie Jane right alongside. That is Sunday's Angel from the inside in third. Levite comes away trotting there. Up on the outside, racing in four. That is Victory's Child. Fifth there on the inside, Piano Man. Sixth to the outside, Idaho Acres Flight. Seventh from the rail, Parson Brown. Eighth there along the inside, Action Photos. Ninth from the second tier, Striking Edith. And 10th and trailing the field after the early miscue. That is Vacation Creation. As they trot towards that opening quarter, being led by Allie Jane on the frontier through an opening quarter at 28 2/5. Then along the inside, Sunday's Angel has found the garden spot, trotting in 2. Levite to the inside, Levite trotting in 3rd there, watching over the top 2. Inside in 4th, Victory's Child. Outside of there in 5, Idaho Acres Flight has begun the long mile the outside of there to chase the leader. Second over the outside in 6, Piano Man. 7th and 3rd over Parson Brown. 8th along the inside, Action Photos. 9th and 4th over there. That is Striking Edith, and a ways back to Vacation Creation, trailing the field. As they step around the clubhouse turn in front of the paddock, they reach the half in 1 minute and 1/5. Off the turn and driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards 3/4, being led by Allie Jane on the point here. Leading it by a length and 3/4 to the inside. Sunday's Angel is still stalking in 2. Outside in 3rd and grinding it out there. That is Idaho Acres Flight. Second over the outside, racing in 4th there. Piano Man, Levite to the inside, trots in 5th. Third over the outside, racing in 6th, Parson Brown as they wheel towards 3/4. Allie Jane has been there every step of the way. To the inside, Sunday's Angel trots in 2nd, 3/4 and 1:30 2/5. They'll trot the final turn and head for home. Allie Jane with a lead here under a couple tippy taps of the whip. Sent up 3 wide in closing ground, Piano Man. To the inside, Sunday's Angel as they turn to the top of Heartbreak Lane. Less than an eighth of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come, and Allie Jane with a lead here. A move to the inside. Here comes Sunday's Angel way down low. Here's Levite, and Levite is trying to surge on as they come to the wire. Allie Jane is going to roll coast to coast. Levite to go second. Third was the 2, Piano Man off straight of the wire there. The time of the mile, 2 minutes and 2/5. Allie Jane in a new lifetime mark. Allie Jane, 3-year-old daughter of Scimitar, of a final score mare, Mirthful Jane, by Carter, Easterday and Reed, the wrong of the Buckeye State. Nicely handled here this evening by winning trainer driver Steve Carter. The 4, Allie Jane, home a winner to a new lifetime mark, 2 minutes and 2/5. Here are the parading pacers. The 1 is Whip Smart, owned by Mullen and Morgan of the Bluegrass State, trained by Glenn Collins, Dave Setzer. The 2 is LA Raider, owned by Todd Luther at Columbus, Ohio, trained by John Robinson, Jim Daly. The 3 is Cameron Poe, owned and trained by George Anthrop of Marshall, Michigan, with Kyle Wader. The 4 is Famous Flyer, by Karen Sievert of Mount Sterling, Ohio, trained by John Tatum, Bob Harper. The 5 is Roy Murphy and Richard Stevens of the Buckeye State's Appointment Log, trained by Roy Murphy, J.D. Perrin. The 6 is Rain Man, owned in partnership by Matt and Mark Rowe of Urbana, Ohio, trained by Mark Rowe with Justin Hall. The 7 is Staley Lane, owned by Marvin Godown of Greenville, Ohio, trained and driven by the K-Man, Kane Kaufman. The 8, Bridlewood, owned by Philip New of Waverly, Ohio, trained by Don Barker, Adam Rucker. Enter the outside of the 9, Jade Star, owned and trained by Donald Miller of West Jefferson, Ohio, Jeff Out, and the Sulky. That's the field for the 5th round. And there they go. This field is in motion. getting sent on their way. They're all fan pacing and firing away mid-pack. There goes the 3, Cameron Poe getting the first call, driving up on the immediate inside. LA Raider, the immediate outside of there. Famous Flyer driving through from the rail. Whip Smart 5 deep into the first turn there. That is Rain Man away in 6th there from the inside. Appointment Long 7th and Con to the outside. Bridal Wood 8th along the inside of there. That is Staley Lane and 9th and trailing the field to Jade Star, rolling around the first turn and over to the initial quarter, and up top here comes Cameron Poe to take the lead. Opening quarter came and went in 28 1/5, stepping on by the stands for the first time, heading on down to the half. On top of the field, leading the way, Cameron Poe, and Kyle Wader out there on the point, leading it by a length and a half, trying to ration out his speed. Leading it here to the inside, a Whip Smart is racing into and ranging over the outside in 3rd. That is Rain Man, long mile there, inside in 4th. LA Raider tipping to the outside of there in 5th as they step around the clubhouse, turn in front of the paddock and on over to the half. That's Famous Flyer to follow the cover. 3rd over on the outside in 6th. Staley Lane. They strike the half in 58 1/5. A second quarter, 30 seconds flat. Off the turn of their long journey down the backside towards 3/4 begins now. Up top, Cameron Poe continues to carve out the fractions here with less than 3/8 of a mile to travel now. To the inside, Whip Smart is still racing into to the outside, racing in 3rd there. That's the 6. Rain Man sent up 3 wide around that cover. That is Famous Flyer to follow that move. That is Staley Lane. Inside of there, that is Appointment Long. They raced by 3/4 in 1:28 1/5. Backside, 30 seconds flat. They'll pace the final turn and head for home. And on top of the field, Cameron Poe is trying to make every pull a winning one. Now angled off the pylons. LA Raider to take a shot at the leader here as they turn for home with less than an 1/8 of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come. Cameron Poe is digging down deep here. LA Raider to the outside is coming at him and coming on. But as they come to the wire, Cameron Poe goes gate to wire. LA Raider to go 2nd. Appointment Long was 3rd. At the time of the mile, 1:57 flat. Cameron Poe. Here's the 3, Cameron Poe. A 6-year-old bay gelding by Cole Muffler, Illinois bred, out of a Meadow Skipper mare, Rompa's Room, owned and trained by George Anthrop of Marshall, Michigan. Nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Kyle Wader. The 3, Cameron Poe, home a winner, gate to wire in 1:57 flat. $40, 325 try, $853.80. By Arthur McCrae of Waverly, Ohio, with Steve Carter. The 2 is Hootie Figgins, owned by Clarence You Can Call Me Sonny DeLong of Orient, Ohio, trained by Daryl Hoosier with Adam Rucker. The 3 is Lampeter, owned and trained by Randy Lee Owens, 11 Ohio. Ace Nisonger is up. The 4 is Galvado Scooter, owned by Todd Luther, Columbus, Ohio, trained by John Robinson, Kyle Wader. The 5, Classical Lover, owned by Ronald Mullen of Fort Wright, Kentucky, trained by Glenn Collins, Dave Sutzer. The 6 is Drum King, owned and trained by George Anthrop of Marshall, Michigan, the K-Man, Kane Kaufman. Number 7 is Bullguard, owned in partnership by Tammy Brandon and Marilyn Robbins of Greenville, Ohio, trained by Eric Walker, Dallas Miller. Head to the outside of the H. Cashman, owned by Jody Sanders of Grove City, Ohio, trained by Mike Metters, Bob Harper, and the Sulky. As the field for the 6th race, scratch the 9, Mighty Macintosh Sick, the 5, Classical Lover, Dave Zetzer, post time for the and there they go. Field in motion. They're all fan pacing and firing away. There's the 4, Galvano Scooter driving up in the middle of the track. Classical Lover also on the go there. 3 wide into the first turn. That's Cashman driving on. Inside away and forward from the rail, that is the Jack Bull, now sliding through to be 3. Angle to the pylons in 4, that's Classical Lover. 5th on the inside, Hootie Figgins, followed in 6 by Lampeter. Gap at 2, settled in 7th, that is Drum King. And 8th and trailing the field in reserve here, that is Bullguard. A race by the opening quarter to Spirited 27 2/5. On by the stands for the first time and heading on down to the half, being led up top by Galvano Scooter and Kyle Wader on the point here. Leading it by a length and 3 pars to the inside. Cashman is stalking that garden spot, racing into the Jack Bull in 3rd. 4th, that is Classical Lover. 5th is Hootie Figgins, is now staying in there. Angle to the outside in 6th, that is Lampeter. 2nd over the outside, racing in 7, Bullguard. And 8th and trailing the field as they step around the clubhouse, turn in front of the paddock and on over to the half. That's Drum King. They strike the half, 57 3. A second quarter, 30 1. Off the turn and drive. driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards 3/4, being led up top by Galvano Scooter. Up on the inside, Cashman is racing in 2, and now Harper is exiting the 2-hole there with Cashman to join the leader here. Inside, Galvano Scooter. Cashman draws right alongside. Inside in 3rd, that's the Jack Bull. 4th, that's Lampeter. 5th on the inside, that is Beauregard. 3/4 and 1:26 and 2/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home, and Cashman can't clear Galvano Scooter, who's trying to battle back and ready to be sent up 3 wide on the outside. Bombs away at 30-1. The Jack Bull to the top of the stretch. Less than an eighth of a mile to pace, and they're on their way home. Driving through Power Alley. Cashman finally clear to the frontier. The Jack Bull is trying to come on up the inside. Lampeter is rushing on at the wire. Cashman in front. Finishing second, Lampeter. 3rd was the Jack Bull. The time of the mile, 1:55, 3/5. Cashman, 3 in a row. It's Scioto Downs. Trackside of the winner's circle, your official winner of the 6th race. Claiming pace, timed at 1:55 and 3/5 for 3 in a row here at Scioto Downs. The 6th win in just 11 tries in 2004. Here's the 8 Cashman, a 9-year-old brown horse by Call for Rain. Out of a duplicate mare, Carmia Duplicity. Owned by Jody Sanders of Grove City, Ohio. Trained by Mike Metters. Nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Bob Harper. That's 2 wins on this evening's card for Bob, giving him a driving double. The 8 Cashman, home a winner in 1:55, 3/5, returning $380, $280, $240. Second, the 3 Lampeter, returning $484. Third of the 1, the Jack Bull, $680. Trifecta wagering, a field of 9. Drivers change on the 6, No It Not, Sandy Beatty. On the 7, Rosini, Adam Rucker. The 1 is Life Escape. Owned by David Ray Hall, Mahwah, New Jersey, and Alvin Jacobson of Compound, New York. Trained by Virgil Morgan Jr. with Bob Harper. Number 2 is Couple Doodle Doo, owned by Don Huddleston and Jack Rice of Kingston, Ohio. Trained by Dan Ader, Kyle Ader, the pilot. The 3 is Arts Baker, owned by Leonard Buckner of Mount Eaton, Ohio. Tom Brinkerhoff trains, Jeff Fount drives. The 4 is Earn a Chance, owned by Lowell Prickett of Wilmington, Ohio. Trained by Tom Prickett with Jeff Ace Nicehonger. Number 5 is Polo Joe, owned by Sharma Kuchbach of Chillicothe, Ohio. Trained by Jerry Kuchbach, the K-Man, Kane Kaufman. Number 6 is Know It Not, owned in partnership by Mark Huber of Westchester, Ohio, and Norba Huber of Lebanon, Ohio. Trained by Randy Leo and Sandy Beatty. The 7 is Rosini, owned by George Smith of London, Ohio. Trained by Sherry Myers with Adam Rucker. With the 8, Sand Tatler, owned by Bill Sanders of Stevenson, Alabama. Trained by Jeff Collins, Dave Myers. Into the outside of the 9 is Jet Express, owned by Doug Parker, Canal, Winchester, Ohio, and Harry Berger of Columbus, Ohio. Trained by Doug Parker, Jim Daly, and the Sulky. They're getting set for a start. Field in motion. They're all fan pacing and firing away mid-track. There goes the 5 Polo Joe and the K-Man. This one was up on the bit, so he rolled him right out for command. To the inside, Arts Baker has come away racing in 2. To the outside, Rosini is marching on in 3rd. 4th at the rail, that's Couple Doodle Doo. Inside in 5th, that is Life Escape. In go to the pylons in 6th, that is Earn a Chance. 7th there along the inside, that is Know It Not. The inside in 8th is Sand Tatler, and 9th then trailing the field, Jet Express. Backed off the wings of the starting gate here by the opening quarter in 30 and 1/5, and marching on by the stands for the first time and heading on down to the half, and Rosini and Adam Rucker forging to the frontier. Right back on the outside, Polo Joe and the K-Man looking to retake here and driving right on. In there, racing in 3rd, watching over the top pair, that's Arts Baker. 4th is Couple Doodle Doo. 5th to the inside, Life Escape. To the outside in 6th, Jet Express. Pendant at the pylons in 7th, that is Earn a Chance. Outside racing in 8th there, that is Jet Express. And 9th then trailing the field as they step by the half. They're halfway home in 1 minute and 4/5. And that is Know It Not trailing the field. Off the turn of their long journey down the backside towards 3/4 begins now. On top, Polo Joe, your 8 to 5 punter's choice, leading it here by a length. Up on the outside, right at the leader's wheel disc into, that is Couple Doodle Doo. First up there. Along the inside, Rosini is watching over the dueling leaders from 3rd. Perfectly placed. Second over the outside in 4th. That is Life Escape. Pendant at the pylons, racing in 5. That is Arts Baker by 3/4 and 1:31 and 3/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home. And on top, Polo Joe and the K-Man. And to the outside, Couple Doodle Doo, bearing down in 2. Ready to be swung 3 high for the stretch drive. drive at his life escape and awaiting the passing lane. Racine to the top of Power Alley. Less than an eighth of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come, and on top of the field, Polo Joe. And to the outside, Copple Doodle Doo. Here's Life Escape, who is charging hard, but at the wire, Copple Doodle Doo just gets up to win it there. 2 minutes and 4/5. Copple Doodle Doo in a first career victory. 2 minutes and 4/5 for a first career victory. The two Copple Doodle Doo is a 2-year-old bay colt by Village Connection out of a 3-fold mare, Bye Bye Peachy, owned in partnership by Don Huddleston of Ohio and Jack Rice of Ohio, trained by Dan Ader, nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Kyle Ader. That's 2 wins on this evening's card for pilot Kyle Ader, giving him a driving double. 2 minutes, 4/5. The two Copple Doodle Doo, home a winner for the first time in his career. Returning 580, 380, 280. Second, the one Life Escape is returning 760, 360. Third of the 5, Polo Joe, 260. 2-1 Exacta, 4860. 2-1-5 Try, 10780. Rundown for the 7th race, the one Life Escape, 2. The two Copple Doodle Doo, the race winner of London, Ohio, trained by Jennifer Woodruff with Adam Rucker. Number 2 is Major Mahone, owned by David Carey of Spencerville, Ohio, trained by Roy Murphy with J.D. Perrin. The 3 is Montana Stand, owned by Joseph Nichols of Groveport, Ohio, trained and driven by the K-Man, Kane Kaufman. The 4 is He's a Machine, owned by Robert Barnes of Ann Arbor, Michigan, trained by George Anthrop, Kyle Ader. The 5 is Cedar Lawn Trace, owned by William Young of Grove City, Ohio, trained and driven by Terry Groves. The 6 is Steady Star Sam, owned by Mullen and Morgan. They're the Bluegrass State, trained by Glenn Collins, Dave Sutzer. The 7 is Rock's Big Boy, owned by Michelle Omer, Galloway, Ohio, trained by Brad Omer with Bob Harper. The 8 is Moonlight Traker, owned by Serenity Point, Estelle, Ohio, trained by Virgil Morgan Jr., Jeff Fout. Enter the outside of the 9, Artful Move, owned by Howard Jacobs of Livingston, New Jersey, trained by Jeffrey Mallets with Jim Daly and the Sulky. And there they go. Field in motion. Bang, set on their way. They're all fan pacing and driving away from the inside. There goes Lada Jones up on the outside there. Rock's Big Boy is placed on the go right alongside. Moonlight Traker is also joining the fray here. These 3 tussle into the first turn there, and a bit rough gated 3 wide of the outside of Moonlight Traker. In between them, Rock's Big Boy at the rail there. Lada Jones is looking to take no prisoners here. Away in 4th, Major Mahone. Just ahead of there in 5th, Steady Star Sam. 6th along the inside, He's a Machine. A gap of 3 there. Racing in 7th, that is Montana Stan. The opening quarter came and went in a quick 27 2/5, and driving over the outside of Moonlight Traker and Fout to the point here. Lada Jones yielded for that garden spot, racing into. On the inside, Rock's Big Boy watches over these leaders from 3rd. 4th on the inside of Major Mahone. 5th, that is Steady Star Sam. Outside in 6th, He's a Machine. 7th, that is Montana Stan. 8th along the inside, Cedar Lawn Trace. And 9th, and trailing the field, Artful Move. As they race around the clubhouse turn in front of the paddock, they reach the half. 56 2, solid fractions up top here, and Lada Jones pulled the 2-hole and is right there right alongside of Moonlight Traker here, and Moonlight Traker is now rebuffing Lada Jones, who is dropping back to the field and sent up 3 wide of the outside, Major Mahone, and Major Mahone quickly pacing right on by here. Next competitor on the outside, He's a Machine, is pacing on, sent up 3 wide. Montana Stan is closing in as they race towards 3/4, 126 1/5. Backside 29 4. They'll pace the final turn and head for home, and Major Mahone with a lead here. And to the outside, He's a Machine, and looming the danger, lurking in the weeds there in 3rd. That's Montana Stan at the top of the stretch. Less than an eighth of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come. Major Mahone to the outside, He's a Machine. Up the inside, Montana Stan as they come to the wire. He's a Machine, and Kyle Ader has got a driving triple on this evening's card. Finishing second, the 3, Montana Stan. 3rd was the 2, Major Mahone. Top of the mile, 155 4/5. He's a Machine. Second win in 2004. Here's the 4, He's a Machine, a 7-year-old brown horse by Racing Machine out of a town leader mare. Arena leader, owned by Robert Barnes of Ann Arbor, Michigan, trained by George Anthrop. Nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Kyle Wader. That's 3 wins on this evening's card for Kyle, giving him a driving triple. 2 wins on this evening's card for trainer George Anthrop, giving him a conditioning double. The 4, He's a Machine, returning $10.80, $363. Second, the 3, Montana Stand, $260, $280. Third of the 2, Major Mahoney. Here's the field. The 1 is Sharp Gizmo, owned and trained by Tommy Cecil Clemens of Waverly, Ohio. Steve Carter drives. But the 2 is Hold This, owned by Charles Kelly at Columbus, Ohio, trained and driven by Jeff Collins. The 3 is Ton of Belief, owned by Justin Hall at Chillicothe, Ohio. Justin Hall trains and drives. The 4 is The Upsetter, owned by June Stone, Lebanon, Ohio, trained by Eddie Pulling, J.D. Perrin. The 5 is Patricia Tatum at Columbus, Ohio. Sable Scooter, trained by John Tatum with Bob Harper. The 6 is Goodbye to Hollywood, owned by Gwen Thompson of Piketon, Ohio, trained and driven by T.T. Terry Thompson, Jr. The 7 is Caleb Special, owned by Pearl Warren Paver of Marysville, Ohio, trained by Joe Paver, Jim Daly. And the 8 is Nuke the Bunny, owned in partnership by Shoes of Elyria, Ohio, and Shepherd of New London, Ohio, trained by Jeff Mallets with Kyle Wader and the Sulky. That's the field for the 9th. Stretch, and there they go. This field is in motion. Bing, set on the way. They're all fan pacing and firing away from the inside. There goes Ton of Belief right alongside there. That is the Upsetter, 3 wide there into the first turn. Sable Scooter is now clearing to the top. Sable Scooter, Ton of Belief, got to the outside and looking to be angled to the pylons in third. That's the Upsetter who is doing so there. Just ahead of there in fourth, Sharp Gizmo. Fifth is Hold This. Sixth along the inside, Goodbye to Hollywood. Seventh is Nuke the Bunny, and eighth and trailing the field, Caleb Special. Racing around the first turn and over to the initial quarter in 28 2/5, and on by the fans for the first time and heading over to the half. Up top, Sable Scooter, your 1-2, punter's choice, and Bob Harper out on the point trying to ration out his fractions, leading it here by a length and a half. To the inside, Ton of Belief is stalking this leader in 2. Inside in third, the Upsetter watching over the top 2 from third, setting sail to the outside, first up in fourth. Sharp Gizmo trying to flush that cover, not going to find any there as they step around the clubhouse turn in front of the paddock and on over to the half. On the inside, Hold This is racing in fifth, second over the outside, racing in sixth, Nuke the Bunny, seventh along the inside, that is Goodbye to Hollywood, and eighth in trailing in third over there, and that is Caleb Special. They were off the half in 59 2/5, off the turn and driving down the backside. Less than 3/8 of them out of travel now, and up top, Sable Scooter with the lead here by a length and a half. And to the inside, Ton of Belief is still showing there in second. Sharp Gizmo to the outside, racing in third, is flagging his tail just a bit there. A gap of 2, racing in fourth, that's the Upsetter. Fifth to the outside, Nuke the Bunny, 3/4 and 1, 28 2/5. Backside, 29 seconds flat. They'll pace the final turn and head for home, and Sable Scooter's trying to make every pull a winning one. Angled off the pylons, here comes Ton of Belief to tackle the leader here. The Upsetter's ready for the passing lane to the top of the stretch. Less than an eighth of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come, and Sable Scooter is full out here to the outside. Ton of Belief at 40 to 1 is rolling on by. Ton of Belief in front. Very close there for second between the 5, Sable Scooter, and the 4, the Upsetter at the time of the mile, 1:57 3/5. Ton of Belief, been a new lifetime mark. 3 and a photo for place and show. 3-5-4-8 unofficial. 3-5-4 unofficial. Official winner at 40 to 1 here, a new lifetime mark, 1:57 3/5. Second win of his career. It's the 3, Ton of Belief. A 3-year-old bake owned by Firm Belief out of a Camtastic mare, Gregiston. Owned and trained and driven by Justin Hall of Chillicothe, Ohio. The 3, Ton of Belief, 1:57 3/5. New lifetime mark at the hands of owner, trainer, driver Justin Hall, returning $82.80, $17 340. Second, the 5, Sable Scooter, $280-$260. Third of the 4, the Upsetter, $240. 3-5 exact is worth $159.60. 3-5-4 try, $915.80. Rundown for the 9th race. The 1, Sharp Gizmo, 7. The 2, Hold This, 5. The 3, Ton of Belief, the race winner, new lifetime mark, 1:57 3/5. The 4, the Upsetter 3, the 5, Sable Scooter 2, the 6, Goodbye to Hollywood 6, the 7, Caleb Special 8, and the 8, Nuke the Bunny 4. Rechecking the rundown, 7-5. Here's the field. The 1 is Inmate, owned and trained by Tom Horner Jr. at Dayton, Ohio. Jeff Out, the pilot. Number 2 is ER Golden Beach, owned by Bradley Nielsen of Pataskala, Ohio, trained and driven by Bob Harper. The 3 is House of Sam, owned by the Shout Stable of Pompano Beach, Florida, trained and driven by Rick Shout. Number 4 is Dan Fenn. The lessee is also the trainer, Bob Stickley of Urbana, Ohio, Sandy Beatty. Number 5 is Hot Rod Jack, owned by Mullen and Morgan of the Bluegrass State, trained by Glenn Collins, Dave Sutzer. Scratch the 6, JJ Dragon Judges. The 7 is Noble Alex, owned by Jim Chalif of Cincinnati, Ohio, trained and driven by Jim Daly. The 8 is All Special K's, owned by Paver of Marysville, Ohio, and Paver of Raymond, Ohio, trained by Joe Paver, Jeff Daly. Scratch the 9, Cruisin' Sabra Sick, and for the second tier, number 10, Positive Scooter, owned by Marvin Godown of Greenville, Ohio, trained and driven by the K-Man, Kane Kaufman, in the Sulky. 7 on the gate, 1 in the second tier. The gate swings into the back stretch, and there they go for the Superfecta Finale. Field in motion. Banks and on their way. They're all fan pacing and firing for the lead. There goes Dan Finn joining up on the outside of there. Noble Alex is placed on the go. From the rail, Inmate comes away racing in third. Marching on, racing in fourth there and looking to duck and tuck is All Special Case. Just ahead of there in fifth from the second tier, Positive Scooter. Away in sixth, the Golden Beach. Seventh along the rail there. That is House of Sam. And eighth and trailing the field as they step towards that opening quarter. That's Hot Rod Jack. The opening quarter came and went in a quick 27 1/5. On by the stands for the first time and heading on down to the half. Up top, Noble Alex with the lead. Now brushing over the outside here, All Special K's. And All Special K's is driving onto the top here. Rolling under the wire with less than 5/8 of a mile to travel and entering the clubhouse turn. On top of the field, All Special K's. Noble Alex yielded for that garden spot in 2. Dan Finn is racing in third. Inmate along the rail, racing in fourth, starting up with the outside in fifth, the Golden Beach. They reach the half, 56 4, solid fractions up top here. And along the inside, racing in seventh, that is Positive Scooter. Or sixth, there's Positive Scooter. Seventh along the inside, House of Sam, and eighth and trailing the field, but swung to the outside, Hot Rod Jack, midway down the backside, rolling towards 3/4 and All Special K's to the inside, but to the outside here, Golden Beach looked the leader in the eye and went right on by. Golden Beach and Bob Harper forging to the top, 3/4 and 125 3/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home, and Golden Beach with the lead here by a widening 2.5. To the outside, coming into second is Noble Alex at the rail, racing in third. That is All Special K's and sent up 3 wide of the outside. Dan Finn to the top of the stretch. Less than 1/8 of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come in the Superfecta Finale, and Golden Beach is coasting home a winner here. Golden Beach all wrapped up. Finishing second, the 3, House of Sam. Finishing third was the 4, Dan Finn. Fourth, and to round out the Super was the 8, All Special Case. Time of the mile, 1:54. And Golden Beach, owned by Bradley Nielsen of Pataskala, Ohio. Nicely trained and driven by winning trainer driver Bob Harper. That's 3 wins on this evening's card for Harp, giving him a driving triple. The 2, Golden Beach, home a winner in 1:54 and 3/5 at the hands of Bob Harper. So official 2-3-4-8 to the 2 Golden Beach, returning 720 560 380. Second, the 3 House of Sam 740 620. Third of the 4 Dan Finn 480. Fourth, the 8 All Special K's 2-3 exact at 2380. 2-3-4 try $426.80. The Superfecta 2-3-4 all is worth $2,296.60.